Hi everybody, my name's Ryan Whipple. This video is the first video in my new YouTube channel, and in this video I'm going to show you start to finish on how I built this little cabin. I hope you enjoy, and if you do, please subscribe. We've had our eye on this spot for a long time to build a cabin. Feels great to finally get started. I decided for my floor system, I was going to build it just like a deck, something you'd build on a house. You have a ledger board, and you can put your floor joists on that. That way one person can easily do all this work by themselves. To hold the insulation up, I used aluminum screen. I'm hoping it's strong enough to keep rodents from chewing through it, but I guess you never know until you try. I had tried lifting this wall once. I couldn't do it. So I had to come up with a way to do it. And I hung these 2x4s from it. And as I lifted, they would swing down and brace it up from the ground. And then I'd move them further down the wall. Another thing that made it really hard to lift this wall was the floor was 10 by 10 and the wall was 10 foot tall. So I had nowhere to stand. I had to stand on the tailgate. So I don't recommend this method. It seemed pretty dangerous. Just don't sheet the top half of your wall and it'll be much easier. You can see here I learned my lesson. I only sheeted half of the other wall, and that one went really easy. And this one I didn't sheet at all because I had braces in the way, and of course that was nothing to it. I think every good cabin needs a porch. And this one, I put a porch on that was 5 feet wide by almost the full length of the cabin. I think it was 13 feet long. And I decided I was going to make it a covered porch. I tried to save money anywhere I could. These boards were all oak, and they were cut off our property when we cleared to build our house. I used the same oak boards for the flooring inside the cabin. Those I just cut down to pretty much the same size and ran through a planer. These things were heavy. I had a dead ash tree out back. I cut it down and I made the beams out of that. I milled them up on the sawmill. They're 3 inches thick by 8 inches wide. And I don't know that I would go that route again. Pretty unruly, especially by yourself. What a great day to be outside building a cabin. Felt good to finally get some siding on this cabin and get a better idea of what it's going to look like when it's done. Figured I'd stain it even though I didn't have the batten strips yet. Then I'd just stain those once I got them and put them up pre-stained. The stain I used on the deck, I was so surprised when I seen it. It was not what I wanted, but it really turned out nice. This might have been my favorite moment building this cabin. Finally having stairs. I built it on a hillside, so the front was pretty high, and climbing up on that deck was so much nicer with stairs. Really felt like it was coming together at that point. Oh, there's winter. Now it's time to get a door on. Get this thing closed in a little bit. I plan to put a solar panel out here and a battery. So I ran the wires in the wall. Most of it's going to be 12 volt for some 12 volt lights and some USB outlets for charging things. And then there's going to be one 110 circuit, and that's just going to have a couple outlets on it. Mark these 7.5. The knotty pine that I'm putting up right now came from lumber that's been drying in my yard for 2 or 3 years, I think. I took it down to the Amish. He ran it through a planer, and then he ran it through a machine that tongue and grooved it. Saved a lot of money, and this stuff's got some crazy character to it because of all the wormholes. For insulation in the ceiling, I had a bunch of R13 that didn't get used on something else. So I cut it to where it would fit between the nailers, and then I cut another one that would sit on top of the nailers and fit that gap. So it's 2 layers thick. I will say this was the easiest ceiling I've ever done. Dealing with boards that are just over 3 feet long makes it go really fast. But I think this live edge ash will look really cool for trimming the gable ends. What I'm kind of envisioning is something that's some trim that's wider on one side and tapers down towards the peak. So
this was kind of tricky. Every time I tried to slide the stove up the board would slide with the stove, so I was getting nowhere. So I had to get a little creative. It worked. It was a little slow, but it got the job done. Look at that snow melting. What a nice day that was. Good day to get a stove in.
It's not good at all.
Turns out it really wasn't that bad. I put in one more layer of bricks, raised the stove up, and it worked perfect. Finally, got all the lumber for the battens. It was a good day for prep work. Got all the battens made, built some window casings, and stained all the battens.
It wouldn't be quick trying to stain these individually.
Live edge makes for some beautiful trim. Also makes it a little bit difficult to get your batten strips cut right, but it's worth it.
Now I need a ladder. I've had these cherry slabs sitting around for quite a long time. I finally found a use for them. First step. First step. Right there. Make it level. Just 3/12.
So I've got this one marked. This side's marked for the inside. This will be the inside of the skin. Line them up good. So I've got a mark here. Put a mark here. Just transfer all these marks. Right there's one.
Luckily, I didn't screw all the steps in because some of them would have came out a little unlevel. Probably a good thing I checked. What I want to do with this ladder is make it to where maybe I'll put a hinge up here somehow so that it can spin and just sit against the wall. I can clip it to the wall so that I open up all this space. I'm going to just trace this block. So the hinge. Right. So let's mount it there first. Maybe I should mount this to this. So I will put slightly started with a hammer. Screwdriver would work better, but I don't have one. Beautiful. what I'm doing here is using that hand planer to round off a 2x4 and make it look like fake log. I'll put that up on the peak. I actually trimmed out an entire house like that.
These are going to be my ends. That'll work. Right. Beautiful. Got my table over here. I decided I'm going to set it over here between the door and the window. This little corner be completely out of the way for everything. There it is. My stowaway fold-up table.
I used to cook my toast over a campfire with a long-handled fork. Never again. These baskets are great for this. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. And if you did, please don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.